Keir Starmer and Nigel Farage clash over migration policy in fiery debate. In a headline-grabbing moment that stirred conversation across the UK's political spectrum, Labour leader Keir Starmer and Reform UK's Nigel Farage recently found themselves in a fiery exchange over Britain's ongoing migration challenges. Their public disagreement, sparked during a high-profile media appearance, highlighted the deep policy divisions on one of the country's most sensitive and pressing issues. The debate not only underscored the ideological rift between the left and right, but also raised important questions about political accountability, public perception, and how the UK intends to manage its borders in the years ahead. Migration remains one of the most polarizing topics in British politics. With small boat crossings continuing to dominate headlines, and public services feeling the strain in many communities, voters are demanding clarity, consistency, and solutions. Keir Starmer has sought to reframe Labour's approach to immigration. Emphasizing pragmatism over posturing, Starmer has spoken about improving border control, enhancing the asylum process, and increasing international cooperation to manage illegal migration. But his recent comments during a televised Q&A where he insisted Labour would take control of the situation without the need for inflammatory rhetoric were swiftly challenged by critics, most notably Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage, long known for his outspoken views on Brexit and border control, didn't hesitate to respond. Appearing on GB News shortly after Starmer's remarks, Farage delivered a pointed critique of what he called Labour's inconsistent messaging on migration. Keir Starmer talks about border control, yet his voting record and party's stance suggest otherwise, Farage argued. The British public deserves straight answers, not political gymnastics. Farage pointed to Labour's previous opposition to the government's Rwanda deportation plan, as well as Starmer's legal background, which he claimed often favoured leniency over firm enforcement. You can't say you're tough on illegal migration while opposing every policy that attempts to deter it, he stated. His response struck a chord with viewers who feel frustrated by the slow pace of change and what they see as a widening gap between political promises and real-world outcomes. Starmer, however, stood his ground. In a follow-up interview, he dismissed Farage's remarks as simplistic soundbites and reiterated Labour's commitment to a fair but firm immigration system. He outlined a plan that includes cracking down on criminal gangs that smuggle migrants across the Channel, reforming the asylum claims process to be more efficient, and entering stronger bilateral agreements with European partners. This is not about shouting the loudest, Starmer said. It's about implementing smart, enforceable policies that work in practice, not just on talk shows. Starmer also took the opportunity to criticize the current Conservative government's handling of the issue, accusing them of failing to deliver on their own policies while blaming others for the chaos. This latest exchange between Farage and Starmer reflects a broader split in British politics, one that pits a more nationalistic, security-first approach against a nuanced, systems-based strategy. Farage and Reform UK have capitalized on rising public concern, promising dramatic changes and immediate action. Their rhetoric appeals to voters who feel their communities are under pressure and their voices ignored. Labour, on the other hand, is walking a fine line trying to present itself as competent and compassionate while distancing itself from past accusations of being soft on immigration. With a general election approaching, both parties are keenly aware that migration could play a pivotal role in shaping voter sentiment. Online reactions to the debate have been predictably divided. Supporters of Farage praised his directness and his challenge to what they see as establishment doublespeak. Many shared clips of his remarks on social media, lauding him for saying what everyone else is thinking. Meanwhile, Labour supporters and moderate voters applauded Starmer's more considered tone, arguing that real policy change requires more than slogans and outrage. Some also warned against the dangers of oversimplifying complex humanitarian and legal issues. Political analysts noted that both men are speaking to their core audiences, but it's the undecided middle ground that could tip the balance in the next election. Migration isn't just a political talking point. It's a real issue affecting lives, communities, and the nation's future. The debate between Starmer and Farage serves as a microcosm of the national conversation, one that involves legality, security, compassion, and international responsibility. This discussion also reveals how media appearances and viral clips are shaping public perception. In today's fast-paced news environment, moments like this can define narratives, shift polls, and influence elections. Whether you align more with Starmer's cautious reform or Farage's call for drastic change, one thing is clear: the UK is at a crossroads on immigration policy. What kind of system do you believe Britain needs? Should leaders prioritize stricter enforcement or deeper reform? Share your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from you. If you found this breakdown insightful, subscribe to our channel, tap the notification bell, and like the video to stay informed on UK politics, debates, and more. Let's keep the conversation going respectfully, intelligently, and together.